Welcome back, everyone. Toyshi's here, and I am back yet again to serve up another He-Man Masters of the Universe Masterverse video. And thank you all for watching. I've got two figures today. One that I found, and I was going to make the video, right? So, She-Ra, this is why they're all kind of disconnected a little bit. They're not going to be in the same photo altogether, but She-Ra, Masterverse, Princess of Power, a quote-unquote deluxe figure. More on that in just a second. On the back side of the box, as always, fantastic artwork for Masters of the Universe. Look at that right there, riding a winged unicorn Pegasus monster, whatever. Here's a little bit of a write-up for She-Ra. Kind of had to look her up a little bit more. You know, you have the idea of She-Ra, do a little bit more research, right? Here's all the characters in the newest wave, right? Haven't found them just yet. To be honest, I'm only interested in Zodak and Catra. I don't really care for the designs of the CGI show. That could change, but for the most part, for me, for right now, it's going to be those two figures. Here's the barcode as well. They are starting to hit Target store shelves now, and you can find them on the Target app as well. But, lo and behold, like I said, found She-Ra, and then a couple days later, I found Hordak. And he is, of course, a Princess of Power. That's what the package tells me, and that's what I'm going to take it as right there. He's a deluxe figure as well. And again, more on that in just a second. On the back side, you thought the She-Ra thing was cool? Look at the Hordak stuff. I will say, on the She-Ra, please don't make the horse. I like the figures just as they are. Don't go too crazy. Here's a little bit about Hordak. I think Hordak is cooler than Skeletor. Just saying. And on the back, we got my two favorites, Mantenna and Leech. Let's see those happen in Masterverse. Here's the barcode for Hordak as well. And like She-Ra, you can find him in Target stores and on the app. Now, so this is going to be fun. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at two of the newest Princesses of Power from the Mattel Masterverse line, Hordak and She-Ra. So just let's get ready. And of course, here are the two princesses out of the packaging. And like I said, both are considered deluxe figures. I would say one is a little bit more deluxe. One is kind of taking the She-Ra tax a little bit, right? You can kind of see the range of weapons and accessories from one figure to the other. Let's kick it off with She-Ra. Now, when you kind of spread them out, you do get a few accessories. However, I feel like this could have been a standard release, right? I do really like this added cape, harness, armored attachment. I like the cape. It's a lot longer than the one that she's actually packaged with. You got some gold armor. It's not a lot to it, but the cape is really nice. However, I will say this. They got to stop. All companies, cease and desist immediately. Quit punching through the capes. We're not Barbies, right? Barbies, they do that all the time with the hair and everything else. Don't punch through the cloth material. McFarlane, that goes for you too with superpowers. You get a couple extra hands, which is nice, fisted and weapon holding, and you do get She-Ra's version of the power sword, which is done nicely. I like it. And she holds it well. You can use either hand, any open hand you want. But one of those hands where you can kind of finagle it to kind of put it more up, straight up, that's what I'd like to see. Not much to it, but nice silver, nice little gem. Same thing with the shield. I do like the way that this came out. A little bit of gem, a little blue here and there, a little bit of shading on it. So there's a little bit more than just, here's just flat plastic. So I definitely dig that. And like the sword, like the shield, she can hold both of them perfectly. But I like the back. I will say this though. Let's try and paint like the straps, right? Let's do that. The extra head portrait, I could take it or leave it. I know it's supposed to be like the old toy, but I don't really care for it. What with, and I know this came much after, but it totally reminds me of like the Jane Foster Thor now, which that kind of stuck where I think if She-Ra is with the normal head, it's okay. It's just all right. But like I said, take it or leave it. The She-Ra figure is really done nicely. I'll give it to him all day. It's cool looking. She's got some nice gold. She's a pretty looking figure, right? Nice female action figure for your Masterverse collection. And she has a shorter cape for just this version. There is a hiccup, though, unfortunately. And that's where I think that while the head is great, I like the harness, the paint, everything works for this figure. Don't get me wrong. But you see where the hair kind of flows. You see from the side. And the cape, messing with the cape aside, it's not that big a deal, but it kind of gets caught in the hair. The main problem is that the head and the hair is too heavy. It draws the hair back, and the head is not tight enough on the ball joint. It's a little bit loose. As you can see, it constantly wants to drag her head backwards. So she's always kind of looking up, and with that head portrait, the way it is, the way her mouth is, and the way she's staring, it kind of makes her look like a, you know what I mean? So it's loose in the neck. It is loose in the waist. This is a looseness that, for a new figure, shouldn't be this loose. So for the hair, I wish if the hair could have been a lighter plastic, this is a very thick plastic. It's heavy, so that's why it's pulling it down, plus it's loose in the neck. So that's the only problem. Plus, of course, the hair being as thick as it is, you're not going to be able to move the head all too much. That's with all female figures, but I think a more lighter type hair, gummier hair, that would work better. She's got all the same articulation you would expect for a female action figure. Like I said, loose up top, she does have a waist, and she will kick out. The dress part, I wouldn't say it hinders all too much, right? Kicking the legs out, I think it works with you a lot more than the hair, but go easy on the knees, right? Especially in kind of doing the double joint aspect of it right here. These were very stuck. So nothing that I felt was going to break, but don't force it. Go slow, right? That's the best advice I can give. She got boot, she's got the ankles, she's got peg holes on the bottom of her feet. Overall, she's a solid looking action figure. I do like the way that she looks, but it's the head and the way it moves. You really have to pose her out for it to work. When you want to swap the heads, as you can see, the mini cape is okay. Totally prefer this look. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're kind of going for the Netflix cartoon version with the armor, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that looks superior than just the normal cape. And I know that's the standard look for She-Ra. I get it. But this makes her look a little bit more heroic, powered up, like she means business, right? So I definitely dig this version, and I like the longer cape. I think that totally works for her better. Plus, it kind of situates the neck on this head better. So I totally dig it. I think that this is all around more fun, but a couple hiccups here and there. Now, with Hordak, the true deluxe figure, as you can see, check out all his accessories, and then, of course, compare them to what you got with She-Ra. And I'll say it again, She-Ra really should have been more of a standard release, just gonna say. Hordak, you do get a lot to him. He's more of that bulkier figure with all the different accessories and swap out parts and pieces because he's like a part robot. I don't know, whatever he is, but I really dig the shield. I think that came out great. Great textures all the way around. The one, let's say, for being a collector line for Masterverse, I think they should paint the straps, right? I get it. I think for Origins it works, being more simplistic. I dig that. Don't mess with that. That's fine. But if you're going more for the collector aspects, the more simplistic kind of nature for these weapons and accessories should be more painted. Paint the straps, right? Put some silver on the rivets and everything else. The front, I'll leave it. That's fine. Hey, put a wash on there. You got a little paint in the eyes. That's okay. But a little bit of oomph, you know what I mean? The extra arm is an arm, right? You could switch it out between doing his Mega Man thing or just standard humanoid, right? There's not much to that. You get it. It's an arm. And then you got his little crossbow energy blast weapon. And again, I'll say this, much like the shield, it works, it's cool, but I feel like this belongs more for Origins. I know they put a little bit of paint in the eyes and such, but I don't think it's enough. And plus, he does have like a trigger finger. There's nothing to hold. It just clips onto his wrist. So I like it, and I think that it could be a little bit better. Like, have the mouth open. Have a functionality to it. That's what I like about Mattel and all the gimmicks for the He-Man Origins line. It'll fire a missile. Something like that. That would have been really cool, because as it is, it's just kind of like, yeah, there it is. There you go. You do get a couple extra hands. You've got weapon holding, you got fisted hand, and then you get this really cool Inspector Gadget Dr. Claw hand, robot hand. I like that. It fits into the cannon hand. It does not fit into his standard humanoid hand. Just FYI, the peg is way too big. But I dig that. That's cool. A couple extra attachments would have been really awesome. The blast, that's really cool. I'm glad that they gave him an energy effect. I like when characters come with, let's say, for instance, he's doing his Mega Man thing, right? shooting a blast out. That totally works. And when he poses, it's nice, right? I totally dig that. However, to nitpick it to death, because I know you're waiting for that, a little bit extra paint, like a black, like yellow into the red would have been nice, just to kind of show that it's not like a holiday Christmas tree. You know what I mean? In that sense, a little bit more paint to it. That would have been appreciated. Hordak himself, I'll tell you right now, very happy with the way that this guy came out. But like She-Ra, he's got a little bit of wonk to him, and it's mostly in the head and that little gothic harness that he's got going on. I like the metallic paint, the blue on his head. He's got a nice, sort of like an ocean seashell kind of like paint on the white with a little bit of a wash to it. The rest of the armor, the silver on the arm cannon with all the cybernetics. I dig it. I think of this guy, he's menacing. I'm really thinking, because of Comic-Con and having him on stage, I'm going to say William Shatner might be voicing him in the second season. They didn't confirm anything, but that's going to be my like looking forward to the future. Maybe he'll be the voice of Hordak, and I think that would fit. He's got his big duck feet. Not a whole lot of paint on this guy, we'll just say. In the parts where it is painted, it's nice. He's got the She-Ra cape, and again, please stop putting the little twisty ties through the cape, because also when you open it, be very careful that you don't just rip the cape, because it is pegged in, right? Don't just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. But overall, the colors, the wild wickedness, spooky season, it's a great looking Hordak figure. So I like that. I like the way he poses. I like just the overall coolness of him. And he does have all the articulation of the Masterverse line, right? Nothing that gets too hindered. He's got the whole duck feet pivot and the boots. Now, one thing is kind of like She-Ra. It's mainly in the head that's kind of the upset right here. So you can see this part right here. It pegs into 3 slots. You could pull it off, pull the head off. You could take the whole cape and the armor off at the top, right? The whole thing comes off. But then it doesn't really stay, right? You kind of have to push it in constantly. It's more of an inconvenience than it is like something that's so detrimental, especially when you want to turn the head. The head does get a lot of articulation out of it for being kind of up against that harness. So it does work for me, but I just wish maybe it was done a little bit better. That's my one gripe. You could take the armor off, like you said, but getting it back on is a pain, right? You can see right here, you really have to like push it in there to get it going. And that's another thing where I'm like, I'm never taking this harness off again. Never again am I taking it off, because it is just a pain to remove. But overall, the colors, the armor, the nature of this guy, he's cool. He's definitely cool. But what is nice, as Masterverse is gone, I've seen that they have improved, right? The first wave, I think it had a few like, okay, it needs to be improved upon this, but now having this new He-Man with this new She-Ra, I think that they look great together, right? That's awesome. Teela, and then you have Orko. I know Orko's from more of the Netflix animated, but they're all kind of meshing together for me. It's cool. I like the idea of Masterverse. It's working for me. These two bad guys right here, these look great together. I totally dig that. Even though I think Hordak is cooler than Skeletor, but this version of Skeletor is awesome. That's my favorite Skeletor as of right now. And then when you have a lot of the evil horde, or you have Scareglow, right, as you kind of get more into those characters, that would be awesome to see. And again, like I'll reiterate, Hordak Deluxe. Beastman, definitely a deluxe. She-Ra, you got to put a little bit more in the box for us, right? Really deluxe us out. Come on, Mattel, you got this. And to have all these characters lined up, bad guys, good guys, different worlds, Etheria, Eternia, whatever. It's cool. It's nice. The entire collection so far. Am I caught up? I'm caught up so far in terms of just, I haven't found the newest way, right, that we spoke about earlier. So cool to see all around. So 2 cool characters. I would say if you're kind of on the fence, maybe wait for more of that clearance. You know, we do see this a lot. But I'll say and recommend She-Ra. She's cool, but maybe wait. Hordak, you need this guy. He's cool. So that is going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Masterverse Deluxe figures, She-Ra and Hordak. And they're both princesses of power, right? I know a lot of people are going, you don't take He-Man seriously. Come on. Really? I love this stuff. This stuff is awesome. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to collect. You got to have fun with this stuff. Everybody is roided out in this universe. It makes no sense, but it sure is fun, right? All the monsters, everything else. But I digress. You've heard my thoughts. Now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Masterverse. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, stay tuned. Might have some fun He-Man stuff coming up. Just saying, when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.